It's Friday. The weekend is finally here. And I know on a lot of Fridays, I've grabbed a six-pack to get me into the weekend. I got a six-pack for you. How about a six-pack of Texans training camp observations from a rainy Friday practice? Let's crack it open with Kamari Lassiter, the locksmith, the rookie from Georgia. And he's had some really nice moments against Dell. He's had some nice moments against Stefon Diggs. I don't see him go against Nico Collins that often. Not to say they never match up. I just can't remember a matchup between 14 and 12. Well, the two squared off in the red zone in one-on-one drills in training camp on Friday. And the first round of it, well, let's just say advantage locksmith. All or nothing HOU on Twitter with the video. And check this out. Watch Lassiter. He stays with Nico Collins, recovers well, and Nico didn't hold on to the ball, so Kamari comes up with it. Let's watch it one more time. Good stutter step by Nico. Closing speed, gets the hand in there to keep it from being a clean catch from Nico Collins, and the locksmith takes care of business. Now later, Kamari Lassiter didn't beat Nico Collins. Nico dispatched him pretty easy, but when a defender has a win like that, in one-on-one drills, which are set up for the offense to have success, it's notable. Lassiter has had one of the best training camps of any of the defenders. He's the best rookie in training camp so far, and he's the second best corner in training camp for the Houston Texans. He is on pace and on track to be the starting cornerback opposite Derek Stingley. He's played so well in training camp, I do wonder in 6 days when the Hall of Fame game is here against the Chicago Bears, if we will even see Kamari Lassiter. Now, D'Amico Ryans said that some of the young players are going to get more opportunities in that Hall of Fame game. Lassiter is one of the young players that are going to get opportunities throughout the course of preseason. It just might not be the Hall of Fame game if he's playing as well as he is and is close to locking down that starting spot opposite Derek Stingley. What else has Kamari Lassiter locked down? Wide receiver, starting spots, the locksmith in full effect on Friday. Cheers to another one. Here's the next from the six-pack of training camp observations. Stefon Diggs and Derek Stingley Jr. The matchup that is the most fun in teams, in one-on-one, anything. It's the best cornerback on the team versus the wide receiver who has played the best in training camp so far. And they matched up again in one-on-ones in the rain, just like Collins and Lassiter did. This time, we're going to go advantage, like we usually do, to Stefon Diggs. CJ Stroud rips it in there. Nice little inside move there. Let's watch it one more time. Not as easy to defend a guy like Diggs for Derek Stingley as some of the other stuff that he's done that's pretty good. But Stingley has had a pretty nice camp. He's had a couple of moments where he's been better than Stefon Diggs, or he's been right there. And even on that video, you see there, he's right there on Stefon Diggs. It's just a little bit of separation. Diggs talks about this all the time. Who's open and then who's the most open is going to get the football. Man, he got just enough room there on Derek Stingley. Not every wide receiver that Stingley goes against is going to be able to do that. Obviously, he's going to face off against a ton of really good wide receivers over the course of the season. But that is a really fun matchup to watch day in, day out at training camp, is Derek Stingley versus Stefon Diggs. It's probably one of the epitomes of iron sharpens iron, because that's the best cover defender that the Texans have, and that's the best wide receiver in training camp so far going against each other. Derek Stingley did have a really nice leaping bat down later on against Johnny Johnson, and then Stefon Diggs in one-on-ones, he actually came down out of bounds slightly, and the official said, hey, no catch in the back end of the end zone. Diggs, none too pleased with that, was a little upset, verbally let everybody know, and then he threw his helmet down. He was mad that he didn't come down with a touchdown in a drill. I mean, the perfection that this guy puts together or hopes to put together every practice is admirable. I mean, he works as hard as anybody according to his teammates, and he just flips a switch, is what Juice Scruggs said after practice. It's, hey, he's a fun guy, he's a funny guy, practice time, switch flips, and Stefon Diggs is ready to rock. That is one of the better parts of training camp to watch, is Stefon Diggs take care of his business, and certainly it's even better when Derek Stingley is the guy going against him. Number 3 in the six-pack I'm going to just kind of focus on the overall sense of the work from Friday. A lot of one-on-ones, they get the opportunity to do that, but they don't do one-on-ones to me as much as it feels like Bill O'Brien used to do. There's a lot more team periods, and they actually have a little clock that keeps track of the team periods each and every time they're in there. And in team period 1, they just blew past the clock, let it hit 0, and just kept working and kept working and kept working. There's a lot of transferable stuff within these team periods for the Texans, and it feels like they do a lot more in team periods. They get a lot more out of team periods than the Bill O'Brien era, and it feels like they take team periods a lot more seriously than the O'Brien era. O'Brien did a few more drills, a little bit more one-on-one action throughout the course of practices, but it feels like the team periods, just the overall vibe of the practice is headed in the right direction for the Texans. And it feels like, without being like tense, but the intensity is higher for these matchups. I mean, you see offensive players get upset when they can't get the ball, or the official doesn't throw the flag, or they get stopped short, or they make a mistake. Defenders feel the same way when stuff doesn't go their way. It's all learnable and teachable moments. And D'Amico Ryans talked specifically about this practice. He says, great to get the guys in the elements, but the elements affected them. Sloppiness with taking care of the football. There were some fumbles in practice, and then sloppiness with the focus, which allowed a bunch of penalties to show up. Now, it was the NFL refs out there instead of some college football refs, and man, felt like they were a little flag happy on stuff, those NFL refs. But hey, it's the preseason for them. They got to get ready to. They got to get the flag arm ready to throw the flag out there. But overall, I felt like it was a really good day of work despite some of the issues. You kind of need a hiccup day to get you recorrected and dialed in, and they have the opportunity tomorrow with another workout to have some of those things corrected and be dialed in for the practice before they have an off day on Sunday, and then a handful of more practices, and then boom, they're playing in a preseason game. You'd rather make those mistakes in practice than a preseason game, and obviously in practice versus a regular season game as well. But I just felt like a really good sense of team unity and focus and desire to make sure that there was a really good practice. And of course, the focus waned a couple times with a couple of yellow flags and some penalties, and maybe a almost scuffle between Max Tooley, the undrafted free agent linebacker, and Ben Skoranek. But it was a solid work day overall for this Texans team, in a day where the rain could have really just knocked everything out. Felt like they got enough done in the rain to justify staying outside and staying in front of the fans. Halfway through the six-pack, wouldn't you love to be halfway through a six-pack on this beautiful new couch that you're going to get from Urban Furniture and Decor? Urban Furniture is the best in the city when it comes to incredible, beautiful, well-made, unique furniture at a fantastic price. That's right. Luxury meets affordability. It's not just a slogan. They live by it. Look at this gorgeous furniture. And as a big guy myself, I can ruin some furniture in a short amount of time. You're not doing that to the sturdy, well-built, incredible furniture that Urban Furniture and Decor has. Visit the website, urbanfurnituredecor.com, and you can see all the great stuff that they've got, from the bedroom to the breakfast room. They've got you covered on just about anything you might need, specializing in beautiful Turkish furniture, but they've got stuff from Italy, traditional American furniture, to the latest modern styles. You got to go see them at 7909 Hillcroft in the gorgeous showroom. And when you go by and see them, tell them Cody Stoots sent you. It's Urban Furniture and Decor, urbanfurnituredecor.com, urbanfurnituredecor.com. The fourth of the six-pack here, Blake Fisher, the rookie offensive tackle. And I have a hard time being critical of him as much as I just want to kind of update you on how he's doing in Laramie Tunsil's spot on the offensive line. Laramie Tunsil still not practicing for the Texans, still working back from his off-season knee injury, but he's not on the physically unable to perform list, so he's pretty close, I would think. And look, it's training camp and it's Laramie Tunsil. I don't know exactly how much work he needs, but Blake Fisher's getting a lot of the snaps that Tunsil would be getting, and by virtue of that, he's getting to try to block Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. and it's not going great on a consistent basis for Blake Fisher. And look, Fisher has a couple of moments, specifically really in the run game, but there were a couple of pass protection moments where he does a pretty darn good job against either Hunter or Will Anderson. He saw a little bit more Hunter today, but then when it was Will Anderson time, 51 just runs past him. If Fisher could get a couple of bits of his glove on him, like it would just adjust things. But there was one play where Will Anderson just ran right past Blake Fisher. Fisher couldn't get out there and get to him, and it was just a little touch on C.J. Stroud to let him know, hey, by the way, I just sacked you. Go ahead with your play if you'd like. But there's been a couple of moments where I wish Fisher would have just had a little bit more to the rep, but at the same time, Will Anderson feels like he's going to be one of the most dynamic players on this team. So it's good trial by fire is kind of the way that I've explained it with Fisher. And again, it's not like he's over against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. He has a couple of moments here or there. And then again, in the run game, it felt like he was out there moving a little bit of earth on the ground from that left tackle spot, filling in for Laramie Tunsil. But the rookie at left tackle, that's something to kind of pay attention to as maybe Tunsil gets back and Fisher goes against some guys that aren't Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Let's kind of see what he can do plying his trade against some guys like Derek Barnett or Jerry Hughes, players like that versus the two best defenders on the team in Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Speaking of Danielle Hunter and speaking of the rest of the defensive line, they are the fifth part of the six-pack. The D-line was nasty. McTelvin Agam, the defensive tackle, had a sack. Jerry Hughes had what was kind of a sack, kind of a flush Davis Mills out of the pocket moment. You saw all number of defensive linemen in there making plays over the course of practice, but Mario Edwards, yet again, another sack for him, just darting through the line right past Kenyon Green and getting himself a sack. It may have been a tackle for a loss, but he was right there in the backfield. But Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter still very, very good at what they do, obviously. I could basically copy and paste what I say each day and just kind of throw it in there. They do it every single practice. I did see, again, a little bit more Will Anderson on Titus Howard, a little bit more Danielle Hunter on Blake Fisher. But later in practice, Danielle Hunter, boy, he hit a nasty spin move on Titus Howard that just kind of let Howard kind of continue to his momentum in trying to block Hunter, but like the spin move basically stopped Hunter's momentum and had him able to just fly in there. Probably would have been a sack. At the very least was a quarterback hit, and at the very, very least was a hurry of the quarterback, C.J. Stroud, in that moment. But Hunter, Anderson, Edwards, McTelvin Agam had a nice play. Defensive lineman after Khalil Davis had a sack at one point. Defensive lineman after defensive lineman had a big day in the rain. They were getting after the offensive line. And there were a few moments where the O-line took care of business and handled some of the pressure, but D-line had a big day on Friday. They may celebrate with a six-pack of their own. Wrapping up the six-pack, well, this one's going to be like a, I don't know, what's the type of beer that you have specifically from the British? Maybe a stout, something like that. I feel like the Brits have like darker or amber colored beer, less light stuff, but British Brooks is the sixth part of the six pack. The rookie running back had a really nice day. In fact, he was the best running back on the day in what was a day where there wasn't a lot of running back success. He had a touchdown called back because of a holding call. I say touchdown. He probably gets stopped a little bit short, but it was a nice big run. He followed that up the next time he touched the football with a nice 10-yard run where he just kind of had to read the defense, read the offensive line, hit the hole, and go later on. He had a tough run where he had to kind of make a move to get away from guys, and then he is just a big back. He's the biggest running back that the Texans have from like a size perspective, but he was, light on his feet ahead of some of the contact. He was getting to the hole, getting to the move, trying to make the cuts, making the cuts to get to where he needed to be. So British Brooks, the first practice after Jawar Jordan had a big day. Both those rookie running backs, they'll probably get a lot of time in the Hall of Fame game just 6 days from now, and a lot of opportunities to showcase what they have been working on in training camp. It's nice to kind of see a little bit come along here with these rookie running backs, because there's not a lot to speak of from Dameon Pierce in the past few days. Joe Mixon's still hurt, though he was at practice in street clothes, and he looked to be moving just fine to me, so maybe he's close to being back here for the Texans. So the running back room could use these rookies. Jawar Jordan from Wednesday's workout, British Brooks from today, Friday's workout. They could use them coming along a little bit and taking care of their business. So cheers to you on the weekend. And that's the 6-pack of training camp observations from a Friday to get you ready for the weekend. Of course, we'll have more here on the channel as the Texans practice on Saturday. And they have an off day on Sunday, but there's still stuff coming your way on the off day as well. I wouldn't let you sit there a whole Sunday without talking Texans here on YouTube. Certainly appreciate everybody who thumbs ups the video, subscribes to the channel as well. And hey, can you guys do me a little favor here? Okay, if you're seeing this and you watch my buddy Landry Locker in the locker room, he got to 10,000 subscribers. And I know that was a big number for him. He talked about how it was, he'd love to get to 10K by the weekend. And he got there earlier this week. Go to his latest video, get in the comment section and just write 10K. Just 10 and the letter K, 10K. Go in there. And we'll know, just you and I, that we're the ones that went out there and congratulated him that way, or congrats on 10K. Whatever you want to mention, but just mention 10K in the comment section. I know he'll appreciate it. And it's a little inside by you and us, knowing exactly what the 10K is for. And we're going to do a lot of stuff with Landry here on the channel, so certainly appreciate you guys watching his stuff and supporting him and supporting me here on the channel. Plus, supporting our great sponsors, Urban Furniture. Urban Furniture and Decor is fantastic. Luxury meets affordability. Luxury meets affordability is not just a slogan, it's the truth over there at Urban Furniture and Decor. Incredible, well-made, beautiful furniture at the best prices in town. The best local prices around. Urban Furniture. Check them out on the website, urbanfurnituredecor.com. urbanfurnituredecor.com. In the description, all you need to know about them, the beautiful showroom at 7909 Hillcroft as well. They've got something for everybody, from the bedroom to the breakfast room. They can take care of you. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be back here on YouTube very soon to talk a little bit more about these Houston Texans. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I already said that. Can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.